Please subscribe to the English Web and do not forget to click the bell icon to stay notified at all times. Hello everyone, welcome back to the English Web. I am Bhageshri. Today's video focuses on writing. I thought that I shall share some personal tips with you all, apart from sharing some standard, well-known and established rules of grammar and English writing. So let's get started. The first tip that I would like to share with you all is something that I feel is really important. It is important to establish the tone of voice right from step one. You need to understand that everybody has a different tone of voice, and it's important to find your own. In order to be able to find your tone of voice, you understand what you are required to do. If you are required to write something formal, try to get that formal element. In fact, make your writing very effective. And on the other hand, if it's informal, make sure that you write something that, when the reader reads, he or she should understand that it comes from you. That is your tone of voice. Writing is something that all of us are confident about, in the sense that it's a skill that all of us at the back of our minds know, we would be able to, make something out of. But when it actually comes to writing, a lot of us get really nervous, thinking that okay, we may be lacking somewhere, maybe our grammar is not on point, apart from other factors. So yeah, the tone of voice is really important. The second tip that I would like to share with you all is focusing on writing, on avoiding negative terms. Anything that includes do not, could not, the word not, or anything that negates, is something that you should try and avoid as much as possible. I'm not saying you should not use them, but try and avoid them and not use too many of those words, because they try to impact your writing in a way that makes it seem, it kind of just dilutes the impact. And so yes, make sure that you use a lot of positive words. If you can say I would love to do that, then try using that, and not I do not mind doing that. You see, there is a difference between that. But again, that is not taking away from your tone of voice, okay? That has nothing to do with your tone of voice. It's just your choice of words at the end of the day. The third tip that is really integral again is how you are using your words in a precise manner. Don't try to exaggerate and elaborate a lot. If you can fit something in 150 words, do not try and attempt to sum it up in 155 words. Try and be as precise as possible. And elaboration or exaggeration unnecessarily will impact the connectivity of your writing. So people will lose attention very quickly. So don't form very long sentences. Make it sharp, clear, and precise to make your writing more effective. Coming to the fourth point now, something that most of us hate, using quotation marks or punctuation marks. Okay, when to italicize a word. Now this is a very important rule. There are some words in your writing that need to be italicized, and you must know which of those words you need to italicize. Addressing larger pieces of work. So whenever you are addressing a book, a magazine, a movie, something like a play, something that is a bigger piece of work, you italicize the word. If you are saying, for example, I loved reading, one of my favorite books in fact is To Kill a Mockingbird, then To Kill a Mockingbird has to be italicized because it is the title of the book. But whenever I am addressing a chapter that forms a part of the book, that need not be italicized. So any larger part of work, for example, albums, movies, magazines, books, they need to be italicized. Second, to emphasize. Whenever I am trying to emphasize something, he is the only one I love. Whenever I'm trying to emphasize the word only, which is why only must be italicized. Yes, that's the second point. The third one is while using a less familiar word or a foreign word. Now, we may be writing in English all the time, but there are times when we may use a word that is familiar to us but is a foreign word to the others. So for example, I love jalebis. Now jalebis is a word that most people outside of India would not be aware about. So you try and italicize the word so that people understand that it does not belong to English. It is a word that the writer has used, just because he or she uses that word often, but it is not familiar with other people. So yes, that is about italicizing. Also, whenever you are addressing something like a ship or an aircraft, you're talking about the names of those things, like the name of the ship or the name of the aircraft, you italicize the word, because again, it's something really big that you're addressing. So I'm not talking about the words aircraft or the ship, or the word ship. It's just the name of the ship that needs to be italicized. Yes, when to use quotation marks or inverted commas. One thing that I would like to clear right now is that American English and British English follow two very different set of rules when it comes to using punctuation marks, among other things. So what I am following is British English, and I hope you all are aware about that. So yeah, quotation marks or inverted commas. When do you use them? You have two types. One is double inverted commas and one is single inverted commas. Every time there is a dialogue, again, this is common knowledge, and anytime you're quoting someone or using a dialogue, you use inverted commas. Now again, what kind of commas do you use? Do you use double inverted commas or single inverted commas? To be very honest, British English does believe in using single inverted commas most of the times, but in today's day and age, it's becoming increasingly common to use double inverted commas as well. So there is no specific rule right now to follow a certain type of comma, inverted commas. But just make sure that you maintain uniformity. If you are using double inverted commas to start a dialogue and end a dialogue, then make sure you keep using double inverted commas throughout your writing and not switch. The second is addressing shorter pieces of work. Now previously I said how to address something like a film, a play, or a magazine or a book. You use, you italicize the words. In this case, whenever you are addressing a song or maybe chapters in a book or episodes, of a TV show, then you use quotation marks or inverted commas. So yes, and then you have inverted commas used for emphasis. Again, whenever you're trying to emphasize, I love that. So whenever you're using specifications or trying to emphasize something, you again use double inverted commas. Now, one of the most confusing parts that people find with respect to inverted commas is when to use is to quote within a quote. Now, whether to use single inverted commas for that or double inverted commas, it really doesn't matter if you use double inverted commas, like to quote something within a quote. So if I say, Mary said, I don't like the man who says I can do everything. So Mary is quoting a man. So there is a quote within a quote. Now you can start this sentence, you can start the dialogue that Mary says with double inverted commas, and then when you're quoting the man, you use single inverted commas, or vice versa. You can start off Mary's dialogue with single inverted commas and then move on to use double inverted commas. But make sure you don't use double inverted commas both the times or single inverted commas both the times. Now there are various other rules of writing that I believe form an integral part of the nature of writing. But one of the things that I still feel holds a significant place is how your choice of words, again, it plays a very crucial role. So apart from not using negative words, it is also important to understand the kind of words that you would choose for describing something. If I have to say something like John started shooting indiscriminately. Now the word indiscriminately is very apt when you talk about shooting. So again, that's the choice of words that I'm talking about. He lived in abject poverty. Now the word abject also tells or tries to understand or describe the intensity of poverty. So that choice of words also plays a very crucial role in writing. And I think that impact can only I would say developed when you write, keep writing, and you will realize the change over a period of time. So I hope you guys found this video interesting. There are various other tips that I would like to share in my upcoming videos. I hope you all liked this video. If you all did, please do not forget to hit the like button, do comment below, share and subscribe to the English Web. I shall see you guys very soon. Goodbye.